This is Talk of the Town, a weekly program featuring community events happening in and around Northeast Michigan, with your host, Nancy Smithem, and the latest news from Alpena Community College with Dr. Olin Joynton. And now, today's Talk of the Town.
Good morning and welcome to Talk of the Town. I'm Nancy Smithem. My first two guests are both from America Samoa. I have Jean Brighouse and Alex Jennings. Hi and welcome.
Talofa. Talofa to you.
Thank you, and we're so excited to have you here. And when Thunder Bay National Marine Sanctuary said you were both coming and could we find time to tape with you, we said of course we can. So Jean, let's start with you. What are you doing in Alpena, Michigan?
Well, this is really a mission to find out more about how the sanctuary benefits the community, and we're fortunate to have Representative Jennings come along. He is the newest, his island, Swains Island, is the newest sanctuary out of our expanded sanctuary for American Samoa, and we're pleased to have him here because his island is privately owned. The waters around Swains Island are sanctuary waters, and we're excited to have him because I think it's important to have him realize and interact with other communities, sanctuary communities, and learn more, understand the benefits it can provide to especially his family and American Samoa as a whole. So we're really pleased to bring Representative Jennings. We're thankful for the Thunder Bay National Marine Sanctuary. It's really a sister program to us. We've had great relationships from the start. We mirrored their hyperbaric chamber model, their wound care facility, and we have one now in American Samoa based on the relationship between our two programs. So we're really thankful.
Now, Alex, you're here kind of just to see how things work in our community. And as I told you before we started taping, this is probably a prime example of a sanctuary fitting in a community, a sanctuary making the community a better place, a sanctuary bringing in programming and economics to an area that never would happen without that sanctuary here. So is that the kind of things you're hoping to glean?
Exactly. In fact, last week we were at Capitol Hill Oceans Week in Washington, and Jeff Gregg made a presentation there, and I'd already planned, but when he talked about how your program, how he started, there were some challenges at first, but at this point, within the last few years, that the community has really embraced it. I was just so excited. I couldn't wait to come here because, as Jean mentioned, we've just completed an expansion in American Samoa, and there are a lot of challenges for us with community and some of our political and traditional leaders. And wish I could take you over there because this is actually what we're looking at. Hopefully within the next 5 years we'll start seeing these changes. And I just can't believe how much the community, I see it everywhere. You know, even my hotel room, you see, you know, the magazines and such, you know. So I'm really hopeful that we can model what Jeff and their group have done here in Alpena, you know.
And you know, we've had people from all over the world at our sanctuary, and when they come, they're amazed at the sanctuary and how well everything fits into the community, the programs that we've had that people can't get at larger sanctuaries or more well-known sanctuaries, or the visitors that come here to do programming, or you know, like the ship hunt, Project Ship Hunt that we did here. You know, all the wonderful things that go on here, and it's never ending. There's always something new every day, and I commemorate the staff in Alpena because they're always out there hustling and working. And the class at Alpena Community College, wow, you know, that's reaching all around the world too. If it isn't today, it will be by tomorrow. So yes, I think you've picked a good place to come.
The exciting part about it, you know, I don't know if you know the history of the Samoan Islands.
No.
They were great navigators. And I mean, they have such a story to tell. A lot of it has been lost through the years. But for instance, my own island, you know, I actually really requested to be included. I wasn't part of it in the beginning. And working with the director, Dan Basta, and Jean and her staff, after 4 years, we finally were able to include Swains Island as part of this. And ever since then, they've been doing these researches and studies and found out how significant Swains Island was to the maritime history of the South Pacific. So much so that in August, Jean-Michel Cousteau is coming down to go to Swains Island to do some filming there in an expedition that's sponsored by the sanctuary. So
He's been here.
well, but I mean, you know,
Yes.
it's exciting because that's going to bring, I mean,
More attention.
what we
Yes.
need in our islands, in the territory, you know, I was the chairman of commerce in our House committee, and we need to diversify our economy.
Yes.
You know, right now we're so dependent. We have 2 canneries there, but it's at a point now where it's not really meeting the needs of our people and the government. So in order to develop tourism there from years and years of dependence on the canneries and the government, we need to develop some attractions.
Right, and
this is what
Right.
we're doing now. You know,
And there's a study out there saying that divers spend more money when they come to a town than any
Right.
other kind
Yeah.
of tourist does. So,
Right.
and now you are the superintendent of the marine sanctuary on Samoa, and you're the largest sanctuary?
We were
Wow.
the smallest, 0.25 square miles.
Wow.
And now we're the largest, 13,000 square miles.
Amazing. So that's not without its challenges too.
Yeah, it is. Like these islands are 200 miles away from the main group.
Oh, okay.
So it's harder to get to. We have 3 remote sites. More remote is Swains because it's a lot farther. Then we have a monument too. We have a National Marine Monument.
Oh, yay.
So it is challenging to get to these places. However, I think, like you said, the divers want to go to those destinations. I think as you build it, they will come.
I agree. Well, I hope this has been a wonderful trip for you, and I hope that you're gleaning lots. And I'm so glad that we are sister sanctuaries
Sanctuaries.
with you, because I know that this will be a good benefit for you and also for us too. And I always say us. I feel like I'm a part of them because I know the economic impact and what's happened with our community, being involved in our community.
Thank
very
you.
excited. I mean, I could just see how much the community has embraced the sanctuary, and I'm really excited to be here, and I appreciate all the hard work that Jeff and his staff is doing, you know.
Now, if we want to go online and check out your sanctuary, how do we do it?
We have American Samoa sanctuaries.gov.
Okay.
So you can just go on and just Google American Samoa,
Okay.
and you'll learn a little bit more about our history, and then they'll direct you to our Visitors Bureau site. So there's a number of sites you can actually, but Google American Samoa, and we're likely to pop up in different ways.
Well, thank you all very much for being here, and I hope you have safe travels going home and get adjusted to that time change.
Thank you so much
Thank you
for
very
having
much.
us.
I enjoyed it.
I'll be right back with some information about Sea Scouts following these messages. Hi, I'm back with David Powierski from the Sea Scouts. Hi, David.
Hi.
I'm so glad that you're here. Until you contacted me, I hadn't heard about Sea Scouts, and it's an awesome program. I've been spreading the word. So tell me about Sea Scouts.
First of all, I'd like to thank you for the opportunity to get it out in the public, because really nobody knows about Sea Scouts. Sea Scouts started in 1912 in Boston. It grew all the way into the 40s during the Second World War. Was actually our peak, which is kind of bad to say you peaked in 1940s. But it peaked because a lot of the servicemen, their jobs at the marinas had to be filled, and Sea Scouts kind of helped fill that with search and rescue and marking the channels and taking care of the harbors. Since the war, though, guys came back, and Sea Scouts have kind of waned down a little bit. We haven't had Sea Scouts in Alpena in a number of years. We did have it before, but it's been gone. We're trying to start it back up again. It's a lot of fun for the kids. The ages 13 and graduated from the 8th grade,
Okay.
all the way to 21. Boys and girls are involved in this, and it's just a really great opportunity to use the natural resources we have
Yes.
at the harbor. And you just talked about the sanctuary. What a great opportunity for these young people to be able to get out there and have some fun, maybe learn something while they're doing it.
Right, and it's sailing. You learn how, if you've never sailed before, you learn how to, to sail. And we have some pretty wonderful vessels.
Yeah, it is sailing is one aspect of it, and we have from an 18-foot Hobie Cat, which is a catamaran sailboat for 2 or 3 people, all the way up to a 27-foot Islander. It's actually wrong.
27-footer, though?
To a 37-foot
Wow, 37.
Islander sailboat.
Okay.
And so we can go sailing overnight out there.
Wow.
And we have 2 actually large sailboats that we can use. So the equipment's out there. We have kayaks and canoes and everything.
So it is a bona fide scouting program.
It is. It's part of the Boy Scouts of America, but it's for the older people. And it's actually youth run, unlike a Boy Scout troop or Cub Scout pack, which are run by the adult leaders.
Right.
I am a leader in the program, but my job is to be an advisor, just to make sure that things are done safe and economical, and that the youth are going the right direction. They run the program.
Okay, now I know you just had a little gathering to get some people interested. Now you're going to have another one for more questions and hopefully to get some more participants. So tell me about that.
Well, just Tuesday of last week, we had a meeting here at the library, and we kind of tried to make that public. And we had pretty good success. We had some people come that showed a lot of interest, both youth and adults. And some people signed up and joined. But we're having a follow-up meeting this coming Tuesday, the 18th, at the marina's old dive shop. So it's right there at the old marina, at the marina. And it's going to be 6:30 again in the evening. That way after work people can come. And just for more information, it costs you absolutely nothing to come and check it out. For more information, to see the boats, because the boats will be there at the marina. And just come and have some fun. See if it's something you're interested in doing.
Okay, and these boats are in Alpena, so it is, but we're looking for kids from surrounding counties?
Oh yeah, they can come from anywhere. And if you're not, I know that this broadcast, you broadcast quite a way out. And if somebody in Mayo, for example, wants to start a scout group, we'll be happy to help them start a Sea Scout group. It's no problem. They can do it on the lakes and rivers or anywhere. Up in Rogers City has been talking about doing something like this for a couple of years. So, and I think they're starting someplace down in Tawas or Oscoda right now. They're trying to get a group going. So this is definitely something coming to northeastern Michigan, and we just want to make sure that Alpena has the opportunity also.
Yes, and so give me an idea what of a typical, a new group of kids out on a boat for the first time. Give me an idea what they might do.
Well, first of all, try not to fall in the water.
Good plan.
That's number one. We go sailing. We learn how to trim the sails on the boat, how to pilot the boat, how to sail. If you're talking about a small boat, it's a one-on-one thing. You go out there and you challenge yourself to be able to sail, and of course somebody will be there coaching you.
Sure.
You flip the boat over, you stand it back up, and you go again. The larger boats, we try not to flip over. They're a little harder to stand up. But yeah, we just go out and have a lot of fun.
And you start out in the classroom?
Yeah, but our classroom's Lake Huron.
It is, okay.
So we start out in Lake Huron.
Okay. And teach them all the coordinates, all the fun stuff about sailing, safety, and all those good things.
We first aid is very important.
Oh, yes.
We learn first aid. We learn the safe boating rules and regulations from the U.S. Coast Guard. Through scouting, we learn the weather, how to forecast the weather. Not quite as good as Channel 11 does, but we try.
Okay.
And we go out there and we just have a lot of fun and learn some skills in scouting. And
what I like was your first comment. You know, the lakes are here, the rivers are here, we have everything, and now if the kids can just learn how to do it, it becomes a lifetime sport, something they can do for the rest of their lives, something to learn no matter where they go or what they do. If there's water, they have something they can do.
Absolutely. In fact, the first woman that ever won the America's Cup was a Sea Scout when she was a youth.
Ah, yay.
So she's the first person to ever do that. It's a great opportunity to learn and to have fun and to be exciting and just go out and do something different.
Okay, now I need some contact information. How can we get in touch with you?
Well, the best way is just call myself.
Okay.
I'm David.
Okay.
And you can reach me locally at 989-736-7525.
Okay.
That's the best way to reach me. You can also go to seascouts.org
Okay.
on the internet, and that goes to a national, and then you just put in your zip code here for Alpena or wherever you're at and get you down to a local unit.
Okay, and then once again, Tuesday night, we're going to be having another informational session.
Yep.
And it's going to be at the marina in the old dive shop.
Yep.
So come on down, 6:30.
6:30 in the evening.
And you'll answer all their questions, show them what the boats look like, and give them an idea of what to expect. And I hope that you have a full house.
I hope so. I hope we overfilled it. It's not a big room, so I hope we overfill it.
Okay, so wonderful meeting you, and thanks for sharing Sea Scouts with all of us.
Thanks for the time. Appreciate it.
Please stay tuned for Dr. Olin Joynton following these messages.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Talk of the Town. I'm Olin Joint, president of Alpena Community College, and my guest that I'm happy to welcome back this morning, Kaylin Schultz. Welcome to the show again.
Thank you.
You were here last October, I believe, in connection with a bone marrow registry recruitment that was sponsored by the Alpena Community College Student Nurses Association.
Yep.
How did that go?
That went very well. We recruited a lot of people, and we actually ran out of our kits that we had, so we, I think, swabbed about 100 people, and there's talk about doing another one. It went over so well, and we even had someone from our registry become a match, so it was a very successful event.
Out of 100 people, there was one that was a match, and you just have to have that broad field of possibilities, don't you?
You never know who's going to become a match.
Well, thanks for that, and maybe your appearance on the show had something to do with bringing people from the community.
I hope so. I hope we got a lot of word out there.
And since then, you've made quite an accomplishment. You have graduated this past May from the Associate of Applied Science Nursing Degree Program at ACC.
I did.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
You were also the recipient of the Nursing Theory Award for Excellence. So. That's an honor on top of an honor.
It
good
is.
For you.
Was not an expected thing.
And currently working not yet as a registered nurse while you wait to take your RN exam next month, right?
Yep.
What's that exam like?
It's very stressful. It's all computerized, and the exam can range anywhere from, I think, 75 to like 230 questions or something. And
wow.
You have up to like 4 hours to do the exam. It's very, very intense. But
so all computerized, does that mean there's no hands-on part or practice part? It's
the only thing that isn't on the computer, we have a scratch piece of paper that we can, a little whiteboard we can make notes on if we need to, but everything is computer. We even have headphones.
Well, sounds like the kind of thing, though, that an excellent student in nursing theory would be able to handle well. So best wishes for that. Let's go back to, you grew up here in Alpena, is that correct?
I did. I grew up here, born here, raised here, lived here all but about 3 years when I was in Muskegon.
Graduated from Alpena High School?
I did, in 2007.
So you went off to Muskegon for about 3 years, but then?
But then I moved back here and decided to go into the nursing program here. And wasn't sure I was going to get in because I took a lot of classes downstate, but I got in and I started LPN here and finished that last year and then did RN this year.
Oh, that's great. What were some of the factors that you considered in deciding to go into nursing?
It was kind of, I think, in my fate all along. My dad was a CNA at hospice, and I grew up around it. I have a bunch of family members that are nurses, and out of high school I wanted to be an oceanographer, and then it just naturally went back to the medical field, and nursing just seemed the route to take. Very
good. And a lot of people know that if you want to get into the nursing program at ACC, you have to take some prerequisite classes. Which, did you do that at Muskegon Community College?
I did most of them at Muskegon Community College. I took microbiology here and chemistry here.
Okay. What are some of the other prerequisites?
You have to have 2 semesters of English, and you have to have anatomy and physiology and microbiology, and I'm not sure all of what they're doing. I know they're changing the curriculum a little bit right now. I'm not sure exactly what all they're making prerequisites anymore, but I know those are the basics.
I think the idea with those prerequisites is to get people into college, see if they can perform at a high level in a variety of different classes, some very focused on the nursing profession, like anatomy and so on, and microbiology.
And they've changed the microbiology a little for more health sciences too, so it's even shifting towards the nursing program.
Very good. And then at that point, I think we have 200 or 300 people in the pipeline who want to get into nursing, but it's a very competitive process to actually get a slot. You have to have a very high grade point average.
And I think at one point the grade point average was an average of 3.8, I think someone told me.
Yes.
But they take into other factors now.
Right.
It's if you had work experience, and it's not just grades anymore.
Anyway, it's no mean feat to even get into the program, so congratulations on that. And then there are 2 levels for the program, isn't that correct?
There is. There's level 1, which is the LPN classes, which is 2 semesters. It's a certificate program. And then there's level 2, which is the RN program, and you get an associate's in applied science after you're done with that.
And you went directly from the first level to the second.
Yep.
Some people will practice as a licensed practical nurse for a little while and then come back and go to the next level with their RN.
Yep, and some people, some people get a job and work even though they are continuing right away, and some people don't. It all depends on what you want, what you can find.
Well, in addition to prepare for your RN exam, excuse me, you also are involved with work at Tender Care, Greenview.
I am. That keeps me busy. I really like it there. It's a very nice place. It's, it's like a family. I haven't been there quite a year, but it feels like it, you learn the ropes and lots of activities there for the residents. And
that's good. That's good. I've always heard good things about the Tender Care locations, and I'm glad it's working out for you there. And it's very
nice to look out at the golf course now with all the golfers. They're, always something to see.
Very good. And then also, you are taking advantage, you've gotten started with the Bachelor of Science in Nursing program that we were able to bring through an agreement with the University of Michigan Flint starting last summer. And you're starting to take some classes with that program.
I actually have taken a few during my level 2 year at ACC. I took a couple of classes. I had an opening for a class each semester, so I took a class at U of M each semester while I was in ACC's program, and now I'm continuing.
Well, my goodness, you're not a person to rest on your laurels. And,
no.
Where do you see this career ending? Do you have some kind of ultimate goal?
I do. Eventually, I would like to go into forensic nursing, which is a growing field right now. There are a lot of different areas in forensic nursing, but I like death investigations, and I like the odd things that most people can't handle being around. But
assisting a coroner, perhaps, or maybe a living victim of a crime to try to.
And I know forensic nurses do a lot with like rape victims and trauma victims and stuff in ERs and hospitals, and so that's my end goal eventually.
Very good. Would that be a master's qualified?
It depends. There's actually a program you get a post-bachelor's certificate. It's like a semester beyond your bachelor's.
Well, that's really great to hear about your accomplishments and your aspirations. You represent the program so well, and thank you for being the guest on the show today.
Thank you for inviting me.
You're welcome.
This has been Talk of the Town with Nancy Smithem and Dr. Olin Joynton. For a list of events taking place in Northeast Michigan, visit our website at wbkb11.com and click on Community. This has been a Thunder Bay Broadcasting Corporation production.